Your life that you should be living right now, they just executed. They were delusional enough to just go for it. Being delusional is genuinely your only option to live a life that is worth living. The people that want to play it safe and be comfortable and just be safe and just not talk too much, not make any noise, not do anything out of the ordinary, these people are just living normal, basic, boring lives. To a lot of people, that sounds like the end-all, be-all. This is their goal and their dream, to live a normal, boring life. However, if you want to live a life that is worth living while you're alive, in reality, nobody here is getting out alive, clearly. So why would you want to live a life that is just run-of-the-mill average when you're looking around and all these things that inspire you and get you passionate about life? I want you to think about these things that have inspired you throughout life, things that you've aspired to. What has that been? Chances are it's going to be a lot of celebrities, pop culture things, to have more out of life, to have a big plot of land, be on stage, have people wanting your autograph, all these things that you've ever aspired to in life. I want you to think about this right now. And I want you to think about the people that have achieved those. Put that thought in your head, because if you look up to musicians, if you look up to rock stars, whatever, these people had to achieve this for you to aspire to it. These people have already achieved it, and none of these people that you aspire to be were playing it safe. They were all delusional. So being delusional is really your only option, and this is why, even if you don't want to take over the world, you don't want to be a billionaire, you don't want to be famous, or you don't want to be all these crazy things, being delusional is going to suit you and help you in so many other areas of life where you don't really have an option. You have to be delusional to the point where this is going to increase your confidence, being delusionally optimistic. All these things are going to suit you in the right way, but here's the caveat. When you tell somebody to be delusional and they're psycho in the head, that's not what we're talking about right now. We're not talking about go run down the street in your underwear and your socks. That's just stupid. You get nothing from that. I'm talking about being delusional with some common sense, being delusional to go walk up to that girl and go talk to her, having unconditional confidence. That's the type of delusion that I'm talking about. Guys with a fraction of your ability are thriving and living your goals. They're literally living your life, and they have a fraction of your ability, your natural born skill and your ability. They're running with a fraction of that, yet they're living a life that you desire. They're literally taking your life that you should be living right now. They just executed. They were delusional enough to just go for it. And instead of overthinking, they're actually underthinking. They're underthinking to the point where they're not constantly so complex in their head. They're overthinking, and then that leads to just overthinking and procrastination, and then you don't do it. Underthinking is basically like retard maxing. That's basically what it is. It's retard maxing. So it's like you're basically just going and living in the moment, and you're in flow, and you're not overthinking. A lot of you people are overthinkers. While these people with half the ability of you, they don't overthink. They just act. They just act in flow, and they can perform far better because they're not having anything in their head that's stopping them and overthinking. The goal is to be in flow and be delusionally optimistic, where you're such in a flow and you're delusionally optimistic, you're delusional, you're confident, where nothing's going to stop you, and you can literally download this software in your head. If you have self-identity issues, you need to get in flow. When you're constantly thinking and you're overthinking and questioning, who am I? What am I about? You need to learn how to just get in flow, and all those answers are going to come to you. If you constantly think, this is how I'm going to build my character, you're not actually being you. You're not actually tapping into that individual one-of-one well that you have, only you have access to. You're not actually tapping into that. When you're in flow, you have no self-identity issues because you're just in flow. You're not overthinking. It's unconditional confidence. You need to hit a gear that delusion just takes over. We're talking about beneficial delusion and being delusionally confident because, like I said, there's guys with a fraction of your ability that are living the dreams that you want to live, living your goals and taking your life. They literally stolen your life and have lived it. And all these things that are meant for you, they're taking it, and they have a fraction of your skill and your ability. I'm going to give you an example of one of my buddies. Now, this guy's a decent looking guy. He's not a Brad Pitt. But here's the thing. This guy is so in his head where he literally, as you think, so you are. This guy literally stops and halts any action that he gets coming his way because he is so riddled with these things in his head that just stop him from performing and being in flow. He's overthinking and he has no self-confidence. This is a major problem, but this can be reversed. Nobody gives a shit about you as much as you think people do. Nobody's watching you as much as you think they are. You're so meticulous and overthinking all of your your decisions and your actions. Nobody cares that much. Genuinely, nobody cares. If you have a few people in life that care a little bit, great, all right? But the world does not give a shit about, if you screwed up and you made a mistake and you said something stupid. Nobody cares. You're too in your head. This is what I'm talking about, this level of these guys that just retard max, where they just don't think and they're just in flow. Being in flow and not overthinking is allowing you to live who you truly are. When you're complicating things and you're overthinking it, you're not being in flow. You're not in flow. And when you're in flow, all these things they come natural to you. You're not going to halt yourself. You're your worst critic, and you stop yourself from living the life that when you're in harmony and flow and just flowing down like a river, just flowing and keep on going, nothing's going to stop you and get in your way. There's going to be some obstacles. You're going to overcome them. Okay, but that's a natural flow of your life. However, you keep on putting these dams in your flow, and this just gunking up this flow by overthinking and overcomplicating things. So stop overthinking. And if you're one of these people that is overthinking, like, oh my God, well, I can't do this. I can't talk to that girl because of this, because I don't look as good as these guys. You're one of these dudes that overthinks and you have no self-confidence. You need to just flip the switch and start underthinking and just be in flow. And even if you fuck up and you make a mistake or you embarrass yourself, again, the natural response for you is to overthink. Oh my God, I screwed up. Oh my God, that was so embarrassing. You're overthinking it. Flip that switch. Underthink. Literally underthink. You're constantly complicating things and overthinking. You need to learn how to flip that switch and just underthink and just be in flow, because you're one of these people that's overthinking constantly, but you have all these abilities. Like I've said, these guys with a fraction of your ability are living this life that it's your life that you should be living, but you've stopped yourself and you've damned your flow because you're overthinking. So underthink, and just be in flow. And that delusional piece is where when you're feeling uneasy and not confident, you just need to have these 2 points in your head. Underthink, stop making it so complicated in your head, and just switch that gear to total delusion in the moment. Total delusion to go talk to the girl and just experience life, because you have a finite amount of time, and especially if you're a younger dude, it's going to go like that. It's going to go like that. 5 years go like that. Super fast. And you only have a certain amount of times to act in the moment. You have to just be able to switch that gear when the time comes. If you see, for example, a beautiful girl just somewhere out in public and you want to go talk to her, you got to do that right now. It's a 1-second decision. Otherwise, that's gone forever. You'll never see her again. So this literally translates to everything in your life. You're an overthinker. You need to learn how to underthink and just be in flow, and just stop procrastinating and overthinking and just take action. Take delusional action.